Here we go. All right. What's going on, guys? Brant here with CPC Bodybuilding, the home of men's classic physique. Doing a new little segment, going to try to make this a concurrent thing so you guys get a good outlook on all the show results as well as upcoming shows. So, the idea is to show you guys what's going on with classic. We got a lot of shows going on every single weekend. So, I'm going to bring you guys the results, show you guys which ones are coming up. So, I'm going to show you guys some of the results from this past weekend. So we had 4 classic shows last weekend, meaning 4 tickets to the Olympia were punched. Probably the biggest one out of all of these right here would be the big win by Eric Wildberger at the Pittsburgh Pro. So the Pittsburgh Pro, one of the most storied shows in all of bodybuilding. It's the Manion's flagship show. So Eric Wildberger was second at this show last year. I was able to attend last year, and it was a fantastic show, always very well run. And Eric, this was a breakout show for him last year. He lost to Michael DeBoule, who went on to win the Pittsburgh Pro and the New York Pro and placed top 6 in the Olympia. So Eric really just showed up at this show last year with lots of improvements, surprised a lot of people, and this year was able to bring it home in a very, very close decision. So Matt Grego and Eric were in the center for the entirety of prejudging and finals. It was a 2-man show the whole way, very, very clear. If you guys were able to catch the prejudging highlights that I put on YouTube after the prejudging show, I actually had Matt Grego in the lead, and some judges did. So Tyler Manion, the VP of the NPC and IFBB, does these great recap videos of classic physique, helps break things down and show what the judges kind of do in order to arrive at their decisions and describe their thought process, run everybody through the poses. And basically what it came down to at this show was Eric was just more detailed. He was sharper. It was a very, very close show all the way through prejudging. In fact, the judging panel was split through prejudging, but finals is really what pushed Eric into that winner's circle. So a big congrats to Eric Wildberger. He's a great dude, and you could tell he was ecstatic to bring this one back to his home country of Brazil. So Eric's going to go to the Olympia again for the 2nd consecutive year. So he won the Optimum Classic last year to go to the Olympia. This year, Pittsburgh Pro Champ. And he's in for the New York Pro lineup. So I'll show you guys that. The New York Pro is coming up this weekend. Always a big show in New York City. Well, just outside of New York City, but features a lot of awesome classic bodybuilders. So big congrats to Eric Wildberger for that win in Pittsburgh. Another show that went on. So we had another Saturday show go on in Hungary. So here you've got the first call out from that show. Now, Richard Nagy, who is Hungarian himself, he was on the poster for this show going into it. He ended up winning this show. He had a pretty good season last year, but kind of came up short. He was, in a couple of first call outs in these European shows, but he brought some crazy improvements this year. Now, I'll pull up a shot right here. So this is him in the winner's circle after taking that victory here. But like this shot, I remember him posting this the week leading up to the show, and he's gotten so much bigger. Great shape. You can see that he has great upper-lower symmetry with the lats and the quads. The lats just like flare out super wide, very tiny waist, great detail through the quads, including the great size. That front double bicep is just crisp, man. Like you can't pick out any flaws there. I think he's got a very complete look, just very clean muscle, just etched in lines, good muscle maturity. Richard is a very, very seasoned classic physique competitor, and I think this is going to be his Olympia debut this year. So big congratulations to him as well. So another European show. This was on Sunday. So we had a phenom just, hyped up going into the show. Sometimes these guys look great on Instagram, right? And we're not sure how they're going to look on stage. Well, Jose Manuel is a classic physique bodybuilder. I think this might have been his classic debut. He had previously done an open show and, did pretty well there, but didn't have a pro win yet. He's only 22 years old. 22. This guy looks fantastic. So Jose ended up winning the show in his home country of Spain. This is the California Supplement Spain Pro. Jose was able to knock off a very seasoned veteran who's been to the Olympia multiple times. That's Herman Pastor, who's also Spanish. And Herman won, I want to say, he won at least 2 shows last year. I know he won Ireland, and he won one of those Spanish shows as well. So Herman is a very good classic physique bodybuilder. And Jose came virtually out of nowhere at 22 years old, picked up his first pro win. So he beat Herman Pastor. You can see there we've got Alexander Westermeyer, who finished in 3rd place to Jose's right. Jose's in the middle. So a very, very great win here for Jose Manuel. He's got great shape. I saw some people kind of comparing him to C-Bum, saying he's like the Spanish C-Bum. I don't know necessarily about that, but if you guys look through some of these photos from him, like, he's got great structure. I think this guy's got a ton of potential. This is his 4K posing video from Morale Photo, who does a really great job on the European scene. I think he's a Spanish guy, but one of the best photographers out there. You're going to see Jose. This side chest and the back double are my favorite shots. Like, the glute ham tie-in and the lines are just insane with this guy. Like, this back double, he's got the glute striations. You can see the pianoing through the hamstrings, a wide back, great detail and thickness through the mid back. Like, this guy's got it all. And I think probably with a few more years, a little bit more muscle maturity, this guy, I think, could be like in that conversation of being one of the best out there in classic. He's already shown that he can beat guys who've been to the Olympia multiple times by what he did in this show right here. So I was really impressed with Jose, and I know a lot of people on social media were as well. So congrats to Jose Manuel on the big win. And last but certainly not least, we had our 4th show. This is the Kim Jun-ho Pro in South Korea. So a South Korean bodybuilder won this show. This is Hyun Suk Lee. You see right here, he was able to take home his very first pro win. This is going to take him to the Olympia this year. So he was actually Ben's pick. So Ben and I did a preview for this show. Ben Broughton, who's a Singaporean IFBB pro, he's very familiar with the Asian bodybuilding landscape. This was his pick. And I thought about picking this guy, but Ben, I got to give Ben credit here. Ben was the one who said he's definitely going to win it. I had him finishing second. My winner ended up finishing second. So I really like this guy's shape, though. He's got tremendous shape. We'll pull up his 4K posing video, and you're going to see, especially in the front double and the back double, this guy is lights out. He's got really, really good shape. He's got the width through the lats that you want. He's got wide sweeping quads, and he can really dial it in condition wise. You see here, glute striations, pianoing through the hamstrings. The width through the back, I'm very impressed with, because, typically some of these guys who have great shape in the front, they may not necessarily have it from the back. And this guy has both. So he's got the shape to compete with anybody. I think more size, and he can start to win some bigger shows. This was a relatively small show and deserves tons of credit, because he beat some very, very good bodybuilders, especially Kai Lu out of China. Kai Lu hasn't placed outside of the top 3 or 4 in any show that he's ever done. So he beat some really solid pros from Asia in this lineup. And I'm excited to see him debut at the Olympia this year. The 60th anniversary of the Olympia is this year. So it's a great one to have your very first Olympia appearance. So that's all the classic physique shows that were this past weekend. I'm going to show you guys what we've got coming up. So we've got 2 classic physique shows coming up this Saturday, May 18th. Obviously, we've got the big one. This is the New York Pro. You can see this lineup is huge. We've got a lot of guys who are coming in from that Pittsburgh Pro. It's pretty common for a lot of these guys to do Pittsburgh and then go do New York the next weekend. And that's just what we're seeing here. Almost the entire top 10 from Pittsburgh is going to be in this lineup here in New York. We've got the winner. We've got Eric Wildberger going to go for that back-to-back title. So he won Pittsburgh, like I mentioned. He's going to go for that New York Pro title, try to bring it back to Brazil. We've also got Matt Grego, who split decision with Eric. So Matt lost to Eric by 1 point at the Pittsburgh Pro. Matt is trying to go for that New York Pro win. This was his pro debut last year, where I believe he was top 6. I think he finished 5th or 6th in that show, and really just showed that he made tremendous strides coming from men's physique to classic physique in just 1 year. So Matt's definitely going to be in that conversation. He's got great shape. Tyler gave him some really useful feedback in his recap video to just make some adjustments with the posing, perhaps peak a little bit differently. And I think Matt's going to definitely be right up there. We're going to have a rematch of the top 2 from last week. And then also a bit of a surprise here. We've got Shai Chang Jin, who is a Chinese classic physique pro, popping into this lineup. I don't know if he's ever competed in a U.S. show besides the Olympia. So he made his Olympia debut last year, and he just won the China DMS Pro just a few weeks ago. So he's already punched his ticket. He's just going for more wins here. So I'll be intrigued to see how he stacks up against some of the best American classic pros as well as Brazilian classic pros. And speaking of Brazilian pros, we've got Lucas Giannini, who was second at the Tri-City Pro just a few weeks back. Brings great classic structure. I think he has like a really cool 70s-esque classic physique. If you like the old school bodybuilders, you'll love Lucas's physique. Just some more guys. We've got the three guys who made their pro debut last week at Pittsburgh. So we've got Dimitro Kratzon. He finished in 4th. So he was Mr. Universe last year. He's coming back, and he's also a New York guy. So he's competing, in his hometown. So very excited for him. He brings a great classic physique and has made some tremendous improvements since turning pro last year. We also got Cleve Metellus, who's also a New York guy. So he finished 6th in his pro debut last week at Pittsburgh. We've also got Brad Pfeiffer, who finished in 7th in his pro debut at Pittsburgh last week. All these guys are tremendous rookies. These are guys who I thought when they turned pro were already pro ready, and they've just made great strides since turning pro. So excited to see those guys back. We've also got Camilo Diaz, who finished in 5th place at Pittsburgh last week. So he was a 2022 Olympian. He's always in the mix in these big shows. I'm excited to see what Camilo can do. And then also we've got 2 very intriguing pro debuts here. 2 guys who I think very well could be in that first call out. That's Jacob Robichaux, who is a hostile athlete. So he's signed to Fuad Abiad's supplement company, which you got to be a really good bodybuilder, whether it's amateur or pro, in order to get the attention of Fuad and his company. So Jacob turned pro at 2022 NPC Nationals and has just put on a ton of size since then. Great shape. He's a taller guy. I think he's going to be in the mix here and very well could land in that first call out. Same thing with Bobby Mazzara. Bobby turned pro last year at NPC Universe, and he brings really awesome old school posing. He's got a very old school type of classic physique, which I really like. He's got the big arms, the big quads, and just really good shape, clean lines. He just has a very healthy musculature, just like a really cool look. So I like Bobby a lot as well. So looking forward to his pro debut. And again, we've got plenty of guys in this lineup who are seasoned veterans who are appearing from all around the world. So this is going to be a great show. New York's always a really, really tough lineup, and this year is certainly no different. And to cap it off, we've got a really good show down in Brazil. So this is in São Paulo, the capital of Brazil. Just a 7-man lineup, but we've got 3 guys here who are going to be in contention for that top spot. We've got Paulo Henrique, which you guys may know him by his handle on Instagram. It's PH Classico. He's out of Portugal. Very, very seasoned veteran. Great crisp lines. Very cool look. I like him a lot. And Livingstone Lavinho, one of the biggest phenoms in Classic right now. He finished third at the Arnold South America just a few weeks back. With some posing adjustments, maybe a bit more condition, very well could win this show. I think he's got top 10 Olympia potential if he just cleans up his posing this year. We've also got Gabriel Pereira out of Brazil. He's another guy to watch. Very awesome classic athlete there as well. So a short lineup, but tons of Brazilian talent in this one. You guys don't want to miss it. That's also on Saturday. So that's going to do it for the live today, guys. I want to thank everyone who is either tuning in right now or watching afterwards. I'll try to do these more often, but before we get out of here, make sure you guys go support me. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Would mean a lot if you guys just share this video. And then also, if you guys want to support me and you need some supplements, I work with Evogen Nutrition. You can use my code CPC to support me. Also get yourself a discount. So that's going to do it today, guys. Make sure you keep it classic. I'll see you later.